wisdom that I've been finding rather deeply lately in one of my favorite parks. It's called Inglewood Bird Sanctuary here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It's such a calm, beautiful place. So I wanted to share something that came from Star Trek. I'll give them all rights. The term resistance is futile. Resistance is futile is something that a collective called the Borg, or a half man, half cyborg culture that came in this big cube ship and wanted to take over every culture that they ever find, every planet, etc. The reason I use the term resistance is futile is because there's many things that are happening in our world that we dislike. Acknowledged. I got many as well. And basically, we've been taught in this world that we point fingers, we basically say, that's not right, that's bad, let's join together, let's have a fight, let's have a war, let's whatever. When it's already happened, and we can't change the fact that it already happened, but the very resistance is our struggle and strife and pain. So just go and pick the thing that's hurting you the most or whatever. It's like, oh, I don't have a job right now. Well, geez, the economy's blah, and this is that, and that is this, and this, all this kind of stuff. Well, what if the higher self, or the higher part of you, or God consciousness, or source, or whatever, needs you to be focused on yourself right now? Maybe abundance isn't coming in, jobs isn't coming in. It's basically telling you that there's something wrong in your perspective, in your story, in your program, with a conscious awareness of self being the creator, rather than everything outside of me is created by me. We're sitting in nature right now. Do you think I created the trees, or I choose the trees to be this way, or how their leaves are, or there's some infinite consciousness over and above that? The infinite consciousness of how water flows and how it carves its banks, and how it moves from higher to lower, and all these natural laws, call them physics, whatever you want to, that make water flow. And then the water brings fish, and that brings birds, that brings all these natural things that are happening all around us. And then we as humanity will cut roads into that, build buildings on top of that, give it meaning, create a path for people to walk through so that they can be in nature, because they're not in nature and they're stacked into houses that are 3 feet apart from each other. So there's a natural collective reality that's going on that we came to participate in and have experiences of. So it's not something we really have control over. We participate in as a conscious choice, but when we fight it, we can cause harm to ourselves. The stress and anxiety and other things that most of us carry as normal in our body is resistance to what's going on in the world. Think of some of the things. There's people that hate the name Trump, hate the name Carney, hate what they represent, hate the war in Iraq, Iran, in Ukraine, whatever. There's nothing we can do about it. And there's so many things that have been created in this reality to create our resistance and to make us mad and put us in low vibration. We're really not living anymore. We're just fighting for our lives and our survival in a world where the program is basically feeding off of us. Once you start to recognize, and this will give you the most peace you've ever had in your life, is that you cannot control these things. And the first step is acceptance. The first step is acknowledging that you can't control it. The first step is acknowledging that when you're controlling, you're trying to force something opposite to what is, and it can hurt. It will create stress. It will eventually create disease in your body, sicknesses and cancers and other things that basically make us so angry and so upset over things we cannot change. The key is to change ourselves. Put your hand on your heart and start to say, okay, Spirit, I accept the things I cannot change. And I surrender to what's happening, that it will have some highest good for me, but I don't know what it is yet. And once we acknowledge that we can't choose, and I've learned so many times the darkest dark, or the thing that hurt me the most, or sent me and broke a relationship up, or put me out of a career when the companies went bankrupt, etc., they were for my highest good at the end. It took me 2 years, maybe up to 10, to recognize that there was a purpose for that. But I was so stuck in the program, so stuck in serving to get ahead, and then finding out I was never getting ahead because the system was rigged against me. That's the way much of this reality is. But when you give your power to those things and say, okay, the government's not helping me, and these people are doing this, and women are doing that, and men are doing that, and this war is doing that, I give them power because my part, maybe this infinitesimally small, or the fact that I don't even listen to the news or whatever, twists my perception and steals my daily awareness of self. And if I turn that self introspection back here, instead of pointing at things in the world, I can then make choices that say, I really don't care what's going on in Ukraine. I can't control any of it. I have compassion for the people that are there and the stuff that's going on. I don't even know what's true. And there's good evidence that says that the news stories are made up and they're from the past and all these kind of things. So if you look at the system and the program and the news and the media, it basically keeps you pointing fingers and being in a victim to what is, when you can't change any of it, which puts you in a loop, and it keeps you from taking responsibility for your part. Why does this feel bad to me? Why does this frustrate me? Well, I'm against war and I don't like people that take advantage of other people and all that kind of stuff. Well, be that person, be the change, be that in you first, and then stop asking the world to change to make you feel safe, and change so that you can feel safe inside your own world. It changes everything, and it gives you your power back. And the first step in becoming not a victim to what's going on is to not care. And that may sound really brutal and other stuff, but I will tell you this, you don't even know what's true in what's being told to you. So to not care is stop tying your energy to something that may not even be true. And when you stop tying your energy to those kind of things, you get your power back. And then the struggle just fades away, and it's like, okay, this is a pretty beautiful place. Listen to the birds chirp. Listen to the natural order that's going on. What if there's a natural order in all these things that are happening to me, supposedly, but they're happening for me? To basically start to have introspection, to self-love, and say, no, I'm not giving my power to that story anymore, and not getting mad at people outside of me and other things, and just saying, okay, what's the use in getting mad? What's the use in resisting? What's the use in fighting something that is? And maybe it has a purpose for other people. Maybe it's waking other people up. Maybe it's changing something really important in some other part of the world, and it's been twisted into something that it's not. Maybe the light forces are surviving and the dark forces are being attacked, and they're saying that they're hurting people or whatever. But maybe there's another story that you don't know. You just don't know. So put your hand on your heart, put your hand on your chest, whatever, and just say, is this fear serving me? Is this fight serving me? Is there anything I can do to change it? And then just say, okay, what can I change in me that will make me okay with something's going on to maybe serve other people that's dark or whatever? But we're not in the Ukraine, or we're not those other sides, we're not all those things. Why get embroiled in a story that's been very carefully designed to pull you in? So I love you. Just note how resistance hurts us. What is happening. We can't change it. How much have you been able to rally and change the world? In most cases, we go and rally and sit in and fight, and then the system resists us, and we get smashed, or people are thrown in jail or other things. The peace is inside. And I will tell you right now, your reality is your reality. And to make a collective reality, you have to lull people in through news and media and stories and getting your energy. I walk outside of reality, that reality. I don't watch the news. I don't hear all this stuff. And people are saying, oh, there's this, and oh, I'm so mad about that, or whatever. No, I'm making the change right inside here. And I'm speaking about my truth, and I'm changing me so that those things no longer hurt me or have power over me or make me resist. And when we don't resist anymore, we start to get our freedom back. The resistance of what is, you may say, okay, well, the Borg was going to come and take over humanity or whatever. Well, if you have belief and trust in an infinite intelligence and something way grander than us, and you can call it whatever you want, source, spirit, whatever. Some people hate the word God, but there's something that's far more intelligent, far more aware, and far more in the know of what's going on, that's leading me to a better path every day. And I'm starting to trust that. I'm less fighting it, and I feel so much more relaxed. Call it surrender, call it peace, call it not engaging, call it whatever you like. But when you get to that point where you're just choosing you and not giving your power away to stories or fights outside yourself, all of a sudden things calm. And when it's calm, the idea of resistance isn't even possible anymore. Just sit calm, be at peace, take a deep breath. What are you resisting? How's it serving you? And how much of it is outside of you, is in some country far away or with people that you're not even part of anymore. Just accept it and allow it and move on, and you will be free. I love you. I thank you for listening. You got this.